Hi, I'm Chef Gail Sokol and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're making a sauce that everyone should know how to make. You can buy it in the store. It's caramel sauce. It's super easy and you can just buy it from the jar, but why do you want to buy it from the jar? It doesn't taste nearly as good as homemade. It keeps in the fridge for at least 2 weeks and you can even freeze it. And it's super to put on a cake, on cookies, on a sundae, ice cream sundae, pound cake, anything, even your oatmeal in the morning, that sounds good. And it's excellent in coffee as well. So there you go. But before we get started, I want you to click that notification button because I want you to become a subscriber because I don't want you to miss any of my tips or videos because they're really, really awesome. And I love having you with me in my kitchen. I really do. I feel like I have a friend with me. So, caramel. Okay, so it's a big subject, but we're going to make it easy. So I have an empty pot. Okay, it's completely empty and it's pretty heavy. So you don't want to use any sort of, like a cheesy pot, really thin metal. You want to use a heavy-duty pot. And it's a lot bigger than the amount of caramel I want to put in it. And that's good. The reason is you want to make sure that if it starts boiling up, and it will, because we're making a sugar syrup that boils and it's going to change chemically, and that's what creates the caramelization, so the color's going to get brown. We really would like to make sure we have enough room so you don't have it boiling over in a teeny little pot. We don't want to have that. So what I'm doing now is I'm heating up my pot over my hot plate, and I have 1 cup of packed light brown sugar, all right, and I'm going to put in 4 tablespoons of light corn syrup. Make sure you scrape out as much of it as you can. All right, light corn syrup, not the dark. Save the dark for pecan pie or candies, things like that, all right. And then we're going to be putting in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, just a little salt, just a itty bitty little bit, and 3 tablespoons of butter, unsalted butter. Does not have to be at room temperature, but it would be nice if it was. And then I'm going to put in our secret ingredient. This is 3/4 teaspoon of lemon juice. And lemon juice is an acid. It's very, very important that we use an acid when we heat sugar. When we heat sugar, it undergoes with an acid. So if you heat sugar, like granulated sugar, it's known as sucrose chemically. That's the chemical name. And it's comprised of 2 simple sugars. All right. We're going to break the bonds of granulated sugar. We're going to break the bonds of sucrose, which it's called, and we're going to make it go into its 2 component sugars, glucose and fructose. And when you have 2 different sugars, you prevent crystallization because we want a really, really creamy, non-crystally, gritty caramel sauce. So you see what's happening? It's actually getting nice and soft, and I'm stirring it until my sugar melts down a little bit, and then I'm taking my spoon and I'm going to say bye-bye spoon, no more spoon. You do not want to use your spoon anymore. You see that? Even my butter's not totally melted. If I see any crystals or I've stirred up a few crystals, I take a pastry brush filled with a little water and I'm just going to go around the sides just to wash down the sides of the crystals. All right? And now this is not a good time to be talking on the phone or answering the door. You really want to give this your full attention. In the wings, I have a 1/4 cup of heavy cream plus a tablespoon, and I've added a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. This is going to stop the cooking process once we're ready to stop it. And we're just going to let this go. We're going to raise our temperature to high heat. We're going to watch the bubbles. Bubbles are going to start coming, all right? And then it's going to look like a volcano. And I don't mean like it's volcano like Mount Vesuvius. I mean that the bubbles are going to be one on top of the other, bubble upon bubble upon bubble. and we're going to try to cook it to what's known as the soft ball stage. That's about 238 degrees Fahrenheit. And what that means is, before they had thermometers, you could take a glass of water, put a spoonful of your caramel into the water, and with your finger, because it would cool immediately in the cold water, roll it into a ball. If it stays into a soft ball, that's the soft ball stage. Now, I don't know if you can see this. We got volcanic bubbles here, and I'm going to put my thermometer in. This is known as a candy thermometer. Don't use your regular thermometer because it's not going to work. And you're going to let this cook. You can do this with granulated sugar or brown sugar. As you see, we use brown sugar, which just has a little molasses in it. And we're going to watch the temperature. So right now I'm way down here at 140, and this can take several minutes. So you want to watch it like a hawk. And once it reaches 238 degrees, we take it off the heat and we stop the cooking process by adding cream and this little bit of vanilla, and we whisk it until all the lumps and bumps are gone over low heat. All right, so I can see I have a volcano, and you may even smell the caramel starting. You may smell it cooking. You may smell things happening. And you know, almost like a burnt smell, like a burnt caramel smell or burnt sugar smell, because you're creating new compounds. You're breaking the bonds. You're actually doing kitchen chemistry right here. So we're almost there, but I'm going to let this continue for another minute or two. It only takes a few minutes, and when I'm done, I will show you what we got. See you back. So we're at 238 on our thermometer. You can see I've got these volcanic bubbles. I am going to take it off the heat. I'm going to put my thermometer safely somewhere, take a whisk, and I'm going to put in my heavy cream, and I'm going to put it back on the burner. It's going to bubble up. Are you ready? You're going to do it slowly. Watch. We're going to bubble. You're going to bubble. Get ready. Get ready. It's going to bubble. So I'm going to whisk it. You can hear it. See it bubbling? Bubbling because you're putting something colder in here, and it's actually going to cool it down and stop the cooking process. Now, this is our caramel, but I'm going to whisk it. Now it's okay to whisk because we did the cooking that we wanted to do, and now the lumps and bumps will melt out as we're not cooking now, we're just melting down any lumps of caramel that may have formed. And there aren't many, so I'm just whisking gently. The more heavy cream you put in, and some recipes call for like a cup of heavy cream depending on what you're making. This doesn't call for as much. You can really get it bubbling up, and you don't want to put your face in there. You want it to be, stay away from it. But you can see, that's our beautiful, beautiful caramel. It is very thin at this point. That is okay because it thickens as it cools. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in a bowl, and I'm just going to pour it into it. This is a heat-proof bowl. Get it all out. Don't put this to your lips right now because you'll have burnt lips and you'll blame Chef Gail. Don't do that. We don't want to burn anything. But you will see as this cools, it is going to become, you'll see, let me get a spoon and show you. When it starts cooling down, it will become thick and viscous, and you can pour that over ice cream. You can pour that over anything you want. Right now, very thin. So we're going to let this sit. We're going to let it cool down. Some chefs like to take this in this stage, put it over a cold water bath, like an ice cubes in a bowl of water, and put it down. I find it can bite you in the butt sometimes because the bottom that touches the ice will get really, really hard, and the stuff on the top of the bowl will not. So when that happens, you're going to end up with crystals and grittiness to your caramel. I don't like that, so I don't do that. I let it sort of just cool on its own. I don't want this to become lumpy. So that's your caramel sauce, and I'm going to see you back when it becomes nice and thick. See you back. So my gorgeous caramel sauce, I have let it sit for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And remember how thin it was before? Looky, looky. Look how gorgeous that is. Viscous, and it's going to get even thicker. It's beautiful. Now, if you put it and store it in your refrigerator in an airtight container, and you want it to get more liquidy, to pour over ice cream or a cake or whatever you want to do, or into your mouth, pop it in the microwave for a little bit. Not for long and not for too high, or you're going to have a caramel coated microwave. Nobody wants that. Trust me. That's time for a new microwave. The other thing I wanted to make clear, I talked about the inversion process, the cooking chemistry of making caramel, and brown sugar. I talked about granulated sugar. Brown sugar is granulated sugar, but it has molasses in it, so it's a little less refined than granulated sugar. But it's on par, the same type of sugar, all right, that that sucrose, those two simple sugars put together. Look at this! Oh, gorgeous! Use this caramel sauce. Be creative, and please make caramel sauce. Don't buy it in the store. It will not taste as good, ever. And you can do a taste test to prove it. I hope you become a subscriber. I hope you make my caramel sauce. Until next time.